I'm hoping Gen V will be good, but Gen V is coming out, everybody. And I want to talk about this because I love myself. The boys are, that sounds really bad. I love The Boys, the TV show, everybody. I love The Boys, the TV show.
I love myself, The Boys, so that's okay.
Anyway, because last time Paul was, we were talking about The Boys and I saw this trailer. Let's talk about Gen V. But Gen V is the spinoff of The Boys. It's actually the second spinoff. Of course, Diabolical came out before, but now we're getting this. And it's like, if this does well, they're saying, actually, the Amazon executive, Vernon Sanders, said if this does well, they got a whole slew of or a plethora, I should say, of other spinoffs down the pipeline. So they want to keep this Boys franchise going forward and create a lot more stuff besides the main storyline for the main show, which could be good, could be bad. We've talked about this a lot of times about, overdoing IPs, but we'll talk about that. But then what's this about? It's set at America's only college exclusively for young adult superheroes, run by Vought International. And Gen V is a R-rated series that explores the lives of hormonal, competitive soups as they put their physical, sexual, and moral boundaries to test, competing for the best contracts in the best cities. And they're kind of calling it like a college show mixed with a part Hunger Games type deal, with all the heart, satire, and the raunchiness of The Boys. They have 8 episodes, just like The Boys itself, coming out September 29th. But I saw this and I was like, this sounds pretty freaking cool. And I hope it's going to be good. The trailer is very gory, and I want us all to watch it here together, then we'll react to it. But here's the new trailer for Gen V. Let's watch it.
Woo. I know there must be many thoughts going through your mind right now. Is this the right place for me? Do I belong here? But let me assure you that we see something in you. Something you may not even see yourself, even if you do have X-ray vision.
Congratulations and welcome to Godolphin University.
You know when Golden Boy flames on, his clothes burn off?
You're making me hot just a little bit.
It's like a big fiery sea cucumber.
Golden Boy, Jordan, Andre, they're going all the way. They could save thousands of people.
I was coming up with your superhero name. Want to hear it?
It's totally true.
That's terrible.
Okay, Coagula.
Even worse.
Oh!
Blood bending.
I'm not going back to the fucking woods! There's some weird shit going on. Who else have you told? Nobody.
Don't say another word about this.
What's going on?
It's lights out.
There are evil people at this school.
This is way bigger than us. We need to make this right. This is your shot at real power.
Remember, no tiny action hero shit.
Get it. Got it. Good.
What's with Muppets?
Digging for the truth is a rush.
This is just a tiny bit fucked, isn't it?
Don't answer that, it's fucking rhetorical.
It's just a matter of time before they find out about everything else we're doing.
If the woods is exposed, we all have a big, potentially fatal problem.
It's lights out.
You're fucked up. I'm fucked up. The one thing that is really apparent now is that we are all fucked up.
It's lights out.
We are all fucked up.
Oh, that's coming out soon.
I know, September 29th, before you know it.
Oh, wow.
8 episodes. 8 episodes, yeah.
They're releasing all at the same time?
No, I think they are actually. Yeah, I think they actually are. Yeah, because that's their whole thing at Amazon. I'm excited about it, Paul. I'm excited about it. Are you excited about this? Do you think this is gonna be good?
Oh, yeah. You know, I think first of all, want to point out, if you didn't know, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger's son playing the fire.
Is.
Dude in it. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. It's like his first role, I think, or like for a breakout role. But this looks fun. Like, I am a big fan of The Boys. I'm a big fan of teen drama done well, and combining the two in something is really intriguing to me. Especially The Boys is so raunchy. Like, I read the books, I read the comics when I was younger, when I probably shouldn't have been, and I've been a fan of The Boys ever since. And the show it's blown past the comics. It's even better, which is hard to believe, but. It's really fascinating that they're kind of taking this concept that is touched upon in the comics and making it its own thing in the show into a show, and still being in the world of like Homelander and the boys and all this. It's just exciting. I really want more of the boys. I don't care what it is, and I don't want to oversaturate the market or whatever with the boys, but I want more. It's just not enough to have the boys come out every couple of years. I think it's smart to have just something else in between to satiate us. I'm really excited.
We need it. We totally need it. And I just looked it up again. So the first 3 episodes are coming up the 29th, and then they're going to do every Friday after that. So that's what it is. So the first 3. So you get they did that. I think that last time too, actually, they dropped 3 and then they kind of did the, every week after that. But that's still a lot they're going to drop at once that you can check out and kind of dive into. But I mean, the goriness, the blankets, this is kind of great because it's, again, we're talking about like what we were talking about, a kids show where they're all together working together, like the Goosebumps show, but this is like even better because it's gory, it's adult, it looks fun. There's a lot of comedy aspects. I know Racer X said that in the comments, like, is this a comedy? Yeah, there's gonna always be a lot of comedy. If you haven't watched The Boys, there's definitely comedy mixed with a lot of dark themes and diabolical stuff because it's just great. And I love something like the ear thing. I was like, oh my God, like it kind of reminded me of the whole Ant-Man meme that was going around from The Boys last season where people were like, Paul Rudd, why didn't you kill Thanos like they did in The Boys? And he's like, gross, not doing that. But if you didn't see that, Lexi, he went up the guy's butt and blew him up. So
The Boys.
You're like, yeah,
actually, well, it wasn't the butt, it was the other thing.
It was there was something going on there.
It was the front, not the back.
Lexi, what do you think about this trailer? You gonna watch this? What?
Wasn't that the orgy that he did it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. It was early on. It was like the first.
At the beginning, he decided it would be a fun idea to go into the man's.
Tickle his innards,
And he sneezed because he was doing coke.
Yeah,
that's right. I remember that.
It's quite something.
No,
Lexi, are you all about this? You like this trailer?
It looks like Xavier's school of fucked uppery. Like, that's really what The Boys is. The Boys is a parody, essentially, of like X-Men and Superman.
I didn't even think about that. This is like an X-Men parody. I never even thought about that.
So that's entirely what it is. It's the Xavier's University except on crack. So the Boys universe looks absolutely horrendous to live in as a normal person. Like, it just looks like looks like the Metalocalypse universe too. It's like I wouldn't want to live in that one or this one. Like, there's just a terrible metal band that if you go watch, it's going to drop a thing on you and kill you. Or this one where the superheroes will basically murder you every 5 minutes. So
you look at Homelander the wrong way,
Yeah. Well, the poor guy was like hugging his girlfriend on the street, and that's how the whole show starts. His girlfriend explodes because dude ran into her. So,
and didn't even apologize. He's just like, I'm late. Go. I think it's really touching on this idea of what it really would. Maybe not to this extent, but superheroes in the real world, if they were a marketing tool, this is what it would be like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's true.
Well, and if they were real, they'd be very damaging. Like, real superheroes would be very physically damaging to the world. Like, they would pop the atmosphere with their movement.
I don't understand why people live in these cities where all the superheroes get out.
Sure. Why would you stay there? You're right. Why would you stay there when you see all this crazy shit happening all the time?
I've lived in Gotham City my entire life. Like, the Joker's going to come to your place and kill your family. Get out.
Right.
Maybe it's time to move.
And also the Penguin, and also Two-Face, and also Zeus has a bar, and also there's Harley Quinn, and also like there's the alligator dude.
There's also Falcone out there. Just regular monsters.
And also, like, I'm just like, shall I keep listing? I'm like, Calendar Man might decide to just start popping up somewhere. I'm like, there's about 50 other people who just are just half-wits who just copy people.
It's like the worst place to live, and you're just like, oh, I got my roots here.
Yeah.
So does Poison Ivy.
Third generation.
so does Poison Ivy. Yes.
Right. I'm like, it's too much. I'm like,
Yeah.
And when you deal with the fact that like half of them are genetically modified and half of them are not, when you have the genetically
'cause-
modified ones, I'm like, what do you even do with that? Like, you're just fucked. You're fucked in that world. So it's like, it's such a depressing. You're right. It's. I think it's a very realistic one. That one, and what's the one? Senses, I think it was.
Sense8?
I never saw it.
Yeah, Sense8.
Sense8,
that one.
yeah.
I think that one's pretty realistic too.
I heard that was good. Yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
I mean the comic was. I never saw the show, but the comic was excellent. And I know that it has the
I don't know if
guy
you.
who's in all of those Blomkamp films. He was the guy from District 9.
Sharp. I can never pronounce it.
Yeah, I can't say it's like Pablo Sharp.
Don't ask me. You know I
Pablo
butcher
Sharpley.
names left and right.
Yeah, so like that. Yeah,
Sharpie.
so I know I think he's like the main guy in it. And I hear
He's
it's
got
one
Superman.
of his best roles. So like he's really good in it.
I would say
I was gonna
Superman
say-
protects that place a little better.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least he got Superman. You know that guy can fuck somebody,
Yeah.
as opposed to like Batman.
Yeah,
might take
Batman's
a while to
like-
get there.
Batman's across the city. He ain't coming anytime soon.
No.
You got Superman, you got
there.
Martian Manhunter. I'm like, at least you got two that are like gonna not fuck you up quite so bad.
Have y'all seen Invincible on Amazon?
Yeah,
I would highly
excellent show.
recommend
I
that,
highly,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I highly recommend that. I tell anybody who watches The Boys, I'm like, you gotta watch Invincible too, because I'm like, it's right on the same level.
I'm reading the comic now, and it's.
I'd almost say it's
fantastic.
darker than The Boys in a lot of.
Is
ways.
that a series?
In a way,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
really hard to
cartoon.
watch a superhero who can't get his powers together and breaks his body all the time. It's really hard to
Yeah.
watch.
It's like
That sounds great. I'll have to check that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the equivalent of that, but you imagine somebody who's just like every other episode they get just beaten to a pulp.
Like imagine
And it's
having the
just-
ability to fly and superpowers, but then you also haven't figured out how to land yet, and then you break your own legs.
Oh boy.
You know, it's like kind of shit like
so
that.
you're not indestructible.
You
And all
are,
your
but you
friends-
aren't. You haven't figured it out. You know, like, you
Oh.
can
All
break
your school
yourself.
friends are used as puppets to explode whenever, it's great.
Right.
It's
It's
like-
absolutely
kind of-
bizarre, yeah.
This is kind of like Gen V then a little bit. This show too, right?
Yeah, in
Kind
some
of.
ways.
In some ways, yeah. I think it's more of just
Invincible's
it
really
focuses
dark.
on it focuses in on more of Mark, the main character, and his family dynamic and
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
life, as opposed to multiple people.
It's
but
about
they
an
are
abusive
involved.
dad. For
Oh
sure.
God! Oh,
If you have
Wait
dad
till the-
issues, that's for you. Like
wait
it's
till the
all
end of the
daddy
first
issues.
episode. Everything changes. At
Oh,
first
yeah.
you watch the first episode and you're like, oh, this is pretty standard stuff, right? I mean, superhero. End of the first episode, you're like, this is not standard at all.
And then by the end of the
Yeah.
whole season, the hard twist that it gives you, you're just gonna be like, whoa. That was-
Okay, I'm gonna put this on my list to watch. I mean, it sounds great. Just like it sounds like fun. Just like this Gen V, because I thought this was interesting. You said the whole mutants thing. I'm like, yeah, it really kind of is like Professor X, but the gory version, and it's making it like they're saying Hunger Games mixed with the college thing. It's kind of a cool different take on it, and competing for a role, like to get a job as a superhero on a team or a sponsorship. It changes the whole dynamic, and it really makes this like competitiveness to be the best superhero, which is kind of cool. And I'm interested to see what all the powers are. Some of those in the trailer look really cool.
Yeah.
The blood stuff was interesting. The guy who's kind of like a human torch. That's what it's called.
I feel like the
Bloodbending?
superhero market is so saturated, and we talk about how the superhero market is so saturated. And I know, like, I had a friend who was really into comics, and I'm aware of a lot of third-party superhero stuff out there that isn't DC, that isn't Marvel, that is unique and interesting, like things from Image and things from all kinds of like weird shit like that. So there's a lot of potential for third-party superhero shit that is very dark, very heavy, very interesting, and I'm really happy to see Amazon as being the people that are picking it up. The Boys.
And Seth Rogen, which is crazy. You know that Seth Rogen's executive producer. of all this.
Seth Rogen, he also produces Invincible. So
Invincible is like, but I mean, I think like
that's funny.
I think
And
that
he's
they
a
are going
voice
to
in it,
pick
yeah.
up more stuff. Like I feel like Amazon's in the place where they're like, we don't have DC, we don't have Marvel. Let's dig in the bin for superhero shit that we don't have. And what you're going to end up
It's
with is that
brilliant.
wicked weird shit, and I love it because like that's the stuff that I'd way rather watch than any of the Marvel or DC shit.
I would say if they do keep this sort of thing going with the ball rolling on these different comic books that are really out there, I hope they go with like Warren Ellis's like Transmetropolitan or
yes, Transmet. I've been
like,
craving it.
Yeah,
God, there's
And,
nothing I want more than a Transmet movie, and I know that they wanted what's his face? God, Patrick Stewart, he wanted to play him
he
for
wanted
years.
to play Jeremiah Spider.
Yeah, he wanted to play Spider, and I was like, God, I can't think of him playing that, but also like I'm not gonna fight him on it if he wants it.
If he did it today, I'd still be like, yeah, sure,
yeah,
go ahead.
like Patrick Stewart, go for it. I'm like, please.
Patrick Stewart can always have a job.
Yeah,
I need to check this out.
I think Amazon could really do Transmet well. I think they would give it the freedom that it needs to be the series that it needs to be, and I think that in the culture that we exist in today, Transmet would be really important. I think it could really be a cultural phenomenon.
I gotta start taking notes on these series because I haven't heard that either. So that sounds pretty awesome to me. But I mean, like, yeah, if you have people that are that interested, like you're saying, Patrick Stewart, you know that there's a fan base out there and there's actors that are wanting to be involved with this. Like, why not make this? And
he's been
really,
asking
Amazon's
for
going
over 10 years. Like over 10 years, he's been asking to do Transmet. He's like, guys,
come on.
I was like, when Patrick Stewart asked to do Transmet, why didn't you let him? Like, why?
It might be too late due to his age, unfortunately.
Especially since he was asking right at the same time that they put out V for Vendetta. And they could have cashed right
That's a long time ago.
Right at the same time. Like, that would have been a perfect, like, correlation. Like, one right after the other. So
I'm trying to figure out who isn't up.
Yeah, he is.
Who isn't in the new Deadpool movie?
Right.
I know.
Everybody's rumored to be in Deadpool 3.
I hear someone's in that movie every 5 minutes, and I'm like,
I heard Harry Potter's in the movie. I don't know how that
came out yesterday. Harry Potter. They're saying he's gonna be Wolverine. I mean, I don't know. They've been fan casting him as Wolverine for years. But I mean, here we got Hugh Jackman. I don't really know if I believe that. You know, the rumors go crazy in Marvel all the time.